Hi everyone, this is Sunette here in this video for Soul to discuss the very word soul. What does soul mean? What does the word soul mean for you? Now, obviously in the world of today, and what I like to refer to as the global consciousness or the global collective. The global consciousness or collective meaning, all of our minds and ourselves together on a certain level of collecting and sharing and communicating knowledge and information and data. There are many definitions to the word soul. And so within those many definitions, there are also agreements and disagreements, about the definitions and meanings to words. And that in itself is also quite interesting because I very recently came across an individual who asked me about, the word soul coming through in the School of Ultimate Living and how that is possible, why that is possible. Does it mean anything? And interestingly enough, she said when she saw the word soul, she had a reaction inside of her. She didn't like it because it's inside of her mind. It brought up memories and references of spirituality, the hereafter or the afterlife. And she had only slowly but surely been introduced, into that realm of existence. And not in a way of necessarily believing it, but being curious about it, more in a way of how can, understanding that part of existence, whether it exists or does not, actually assist and support me in understanding myself more, my life more, maybe this world more, people more. And because she's on an interesting journey and path in her life in just understanding a bit more about the overall human condition and just any and all and every factor that could possibly contribute. So, within her journeys, she had come across the School of Ultimate Living, Soul. And there was still a part of her that, in a way was thinking or believing that, this is only spiritual stuff, not even going to bother. And, then seeing the School of Ultimate Living and just, generally the feel of it. She thought, oh, okay, it's more spiritual things, been there, done that, thank you very much. And then she got introduced to the School of Ultimate Living through someone else, and she realized, oh my goodness, this is completely different to what I thought. It was fascinating to have a discussion with her because she was just sharing how, it was quite frightening that she almost immediately just walked away without even checking it out, just because of her interpretation, her assumption, her definition of the word soul that came up within her mind. And not only the word soul, but also the general feel. And here we're having a look at colors, presentation, representation. What's fascinating is even pictures, images, colors, everyone is quite similar to words. We have a subconscious relationship to colors, to representations, pictures, images, and in a way where, whatever we see with our physical eyes, we will then accordingly have a definition for, an experience of, a relationship to, like that. I mean, it took her only a couple of seconds to look at everything and essentially walk away. So what is that about us that we can potentially change in a way where we allow ourselves to, have a look at our relationship with words, with ourselves, where we can be more open to actually investigating introspecting and understanding in a way where we assist and support ourselves. Meaning, for me, for example, how I've looked at so many things is like doors. In whatever we are exposed to in our everyday life. And doors where I can walk through that door. I've got the option to walk through it in terms of checking it out, investigate it. Because what do I know if I'm going to open up a door and investigate it and explore it and look into it and check what's in that room? I've got me. I've got my honesty, my trust, my principles, who I am. And I always walk into and through a door in a way where I ask a question. I ask, what can I learn about myself? What if I walk through this door and introspect and investigate this space and who and what and everything and everyone within it? What will this teach me? And always walking it in a way of being very grounded, stable, considerate, aware. And, this was such an important moment with this lady because she said it for the first time, really opened up her eyes to realizing how much she missed. In even all her years of investigating, so many different things that's available in, let's call it the global consciousness or, the world, in all the knowledge and information and data that does exist. And so there she was, starting this process of redefining and living words. And so I shared with her, my experience of soul, the word soul, especially in the context of the School of Ultimate Living. Soul for me is like a life force, my life force. Not a life force as in, for example, this separate entity meaning like this separate ball of, for example, light or energy or something that is somewhere in me. Life force is more that life in me, that of me which allows me that will, that motivation, that passion, creativity, innovation, that part of me, that life force, that life within me, that when I do want to give up, when I sometimes inside myself reach the deepest, darkest pit possible inside my mind, my emotions. I mean, all of us have got that space. We all know that very well. We visit it often. But I think in our processes, through life, we become more creative in our way out of it. Like I've sometimes played in envisioning when I've taught people how to help themselves when they feel like they're in this deep, dark pit inside themselves. I tell them, okay, envision your way out. Would it be just a ladder? Or would it be a rope? Or would it be a trampoline? Would you have, for example, these shoes, shooting fire out of them and you'd be skyrocketing out of that pit? Meaning, it's like envisioning different representations of yourself, of how you get yourself out of experiences that you do sometimes find yourself in, because that actually says a lot about yourself. For me, like when I was in these deep, dark pits, I would just literally feel like I have to climb out of there. I didn't have any help. And that climbing and getting out of those states was a slow but sure crawling and walking out of there. And then when you start getting better and better at standing up, once you do reach that giving up moment, you start becoming more innovative and creative in how you get yourself out of there. Where now I'm at the just skyrocketing myself out of there sometimes, when I feel that niggling giving up, even trying, or that deep, dark pit experience even trying to come up in me. I'm not even going there. Don't even fall in there anymore. Well, I do sometimes, but, just get out of there faster. So the main point here, everyone, is in having a look at, those parts of you that allows you to give that life back to you. It's also in those moments, those dark moments inside ourselves and our minds where we just feel empty, almost dead inside. And that expression, that life. You've even got people, in your life who also brings out that life in you, and it makes you smile and laugh and enjoy yourself genuinely. There's no energy behind it, no, emotion or forcing it. It's just like so natural. So that to me is that life in me, that soul of me. And the School of Ultimate Living is about that. The best of us, the potential, the better. And it's that to which I always hold, for me. And I mean, sometimes it does so happen that we don't always see those parts of ourselves. And we do need a bit of help, where we think what we do is what's best for us and others. But when you come to the nitty gritty of it, you realize, oh my goodness, my calculations was a bit off. So it's always good to have that outside the box perspectives, I have found, because sometimes we can really be so in a point, or in an experience, that we don't realize its consequences for ourselves and others. And having those dedicated people, walking such a long path with you in your life, in your process, in your experience, that is honest enough to be direct with you, frank with you, and open with you. There's the people where they can see, wait, something's off here. Have you looked at this or considered that, or maybe done an adjustment here or an alignment there? It's very refreshing, to walk a life where you are doing your best to be your best, not only for yourself, but for others as well. And I mean, for me also, where this all started was initially only within me. I only understood what it meant to see the best in me, to assist and support myself to reach my potential. And then from there, I started realizing, goodness, I can do this even in my relationships with others. And then it started expanding into my life. And then it started expanding even into, a global scale. And it is such an extraordinary process. So it's, for me, and you can have a look at maybe even taking the School of Ultimate Living, the soul, into yourself. Make it a part of you in your everyday life. Our ideal here, with the School of Ultimate Living, with soul, is for each one to have it as a part of you that you walk within yourself. That soul, the School of Ultimate Living, becomes yours in a way where, you realize your life, your inner process, that's your classroom. You're the pupil and the teacher at the same time. And within that, you're the soul, the heart and soul of the process. And hold to that life force within you, that life within you, the best, the better, the potential. And, again, there's many assistance and support available that you can reach out for and ask for to guide you, because obviously we do sometimes need those reminders, from those closest to us in our lives. They're reminders of, being our voices when we sometimes find ourselves in the darkness, in the deep, dark pits, and the giving up experiences and the lows or the moodiness, to say, hey, where are you? Where's your life? Where's the best? Where's the better? Where's the potential? And, the more and more you start incorporating this process of redefining and living words, everyone, you will be amazed, you'll be astounded how much more you learn about yourself, about people, about the world, the knowledge and information and data that's out there. I think one of the most scary things also for me was I even sometimes looked at just my relationship with people sometimes, where their names or where they came from, or, when I started communicating them or meeting them and them telling me about their life or their home and things like that, where I would start imagining and drawing pictures of their words in my head, and then thinking that is what they meant or that is what they said, when all the while it was only my definitions of the words coming out, not even theirs. They didn't even mean most of what they said to me. And I accordingly made a judgment call about them. Now, how many opportunities of relationships and moments and experiences of learning for ourselves and with others do we miss just because of this one thing we're limiting ourselves by? So see people, see things that you become exposed to in your life as doors. Walk through it. You've still got the choice to walk out, but at least give yourself the opportunity to get to know it. Introspect it, investigate it. You've always got you within you, only your mind, your being, your body inside of you. So, trust yourself, be honest with yourself, have your principles is all you ever need. And I hope this clarifies also for anyone who was quite similar to this lady. So I wouldn't want anyone to have the same consequences as hers. But it's very nice, though, because she had a very nice realization. And I'm sure for those of you who had possibly a similar experience, it's a very nice realization for you as well. And a reminder to us all. Thank you very much.